Business Insights on Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson.
Hello. How do you get found online without wasting money on ads? My guest today is Wes Towers, and Wes is going to be discussing with us how to get found on Google, AI tools, and other platforms that your customers are trusting. Now, Wes is the founder of Uplift 360, a digital agency helping service-based businesses get found everywhere their customers are searching. So Google, AI tools, and beyond, without wasting money on ads. After being told by Business Valuer that his company wasn't worth much because of AI, Wes flipped the script. Instead, he refocused, integrated AI the right way, and humanized his team and his marketing approach. The result? His most profitable year ever. Wes now shares practical, no-fluff strategies that empower business owners to grow their visibility, attract quality leads, and convert them into loyal customers while staying true to their values. Wes, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so pleased to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, Rose. It's nice to be talking to another Aussie. I've been on a few podcasts of late, and it's usually a really early morning or late night. So good to connect with another Aussie as well. So thanks so much.
Oh, it's my great pleasure. Whereabouts are you?
In Geelong, just outside Melbourne.
Oh, my son, lives in Lara, so it's not very
Oh,
far.
yeah, very close. Yeah. Nice part of the world, I think. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So how did you get started and how did Uplift 360 come about?
Well, yeah. So the full story. I mean, back in the day when I was studying and figuring out what my career path was in high school, websites weren't really a thing. So the career advisor didn't advise me of that because it wasn't a thing yet. It was the 90s. So, but I got into graphic design / multimedia at uni in Ballarat and loved that. Got my first job in marketing in Sydney. So the Olympics year it was in the year 2000. They'd never designed a website, so this is how far things have changed in marketing. Never designed a website. They were an award-winning company there in Sydney for marketing, but they won a project to do a website, and they said, right, you're the guy fresh out of uni. You've studied multimedia. You better figure out how to build this website because we've already won it and so on. So had to learn on the fly on that project. They gave me plenty of time to figure it out and build that site. And then I became their website guy. And so eventually naively started my own business as well and didn't really know how to run a business, was solid and confident in my skill set, but to step out into the business world 20 years ago now. So that's how I got to where I've got. And it's been through lots of iterations and alterations as businesses evolve and adapt. And certainly the last few years have been pretty exciting and terrifying, really, with what's happening with AI and tech.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how I started too. I left the corporate world and I was doing temp work a lot of the time and I didn't like it. So I thought I'd go out on my own. I was really great at admin work. So I thought, yeah, I'll go and do that too. So not knowing much about business, but confident in my skill set. And yeah, that just fell flat in its face.
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it? So there's so much you don't really know when you're starting out in business. I certainly felt I lacked a bit of confidence as well. I mean, done lots of work behind the scenes, but I hadn't had the experience of talking to clients and customers and meeting and presenting and preparing proposals and all the normal stuff you've got to do, and just even basic things like, the bookkeeping and all of that, you kind of had to learn.
Yeah,
So,
I could so relate to that. Absolutely. What does Uplift 360 actually offer, Wes?
yeah, so we do websites and we do SEO. So, but we're calling it search everywhere optimization now, not just search engine optimization, because back in the day, it was about showing up as highly as you could in Google. Nearly everyone, if they would need a product or service and they didn't know where to go, they'd just jump on Google and search for it. They'd search for the service and the location. So for us, it might be Plumber Melbourne, for example. But now with the large language models, people are having full conversations with maybe their chat GPT, or they're searching in a whole new way because they realize the tools and tech understand the full context. So they're getting really precise with what they're searching for. So instead of Plumber Melbourne, they might be searching for a particular brand of toilet that's having a particular issue. It might be leaking. how to resolve the issue on the fly, or hire someone if they need to do that. So that people are learning how to use these tools in whole new ways, and it's a matter of staying on top of it so our clients can stay where the customers are, and that's in the AI platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI is one of the greatest inventions ever. I
Yeah.
am such a big fan of it. And, I do a lot of my copy with AI. I mean, obviously adding my own spin on it, but
Yeah.
has really helped me a lot. And it has helped me to build confidence in how I'm presenting my content. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely love it. So, what are some ways that we can make AI powered marketing feel like it's authentic and that it's coming actually from us?
Yeah, and that's a really important thing. And you mentioned it yourself. So you don't just rely on what it's produced, but you customize it to suit your needs. And that really is the important things, because it's so easy to mass produce content at scale. People are doing that, but it's not necessarily helping them because it's not adding anything fresh or unique to the information that's already out there. It's just pulling the average of everything else into one piece, and there it is. So you've really got to bed down precisely what your voice is. So your style, the style guide in which you communicate, if you're going to use these tools to assist in writing, and also to think about any unique aspects or points of view that you have that are solely your own personal brand or your business brand. But those points of view and perspectives really do add a unique insight to the conversation. So if there's anything unique and specific that you can communicate, then it has a chance to show up in the large language models because it's something fresh being added. So you kind of got to think about it in a couple of ways. So it's information for the human readers who are going to ideally read your content, if it's in a blog, for example. But also it's training the AI about your business and about what you do and how you help solve problems, because people are having conversations to solve their problems and their needs. So it's a really exciting time, but it takes a bit of effort to make your content stand out opposed to everybody else.
Yeah,
So that's where the
absolutely.
challenges are. Yeah.
Yeah, I've trained my AI, like it knows my brain voice and it knows how I speak and it knows, you know, personal details about me so that they can weave that stuff into the content. So yeah, it's a remarkable tool. And
Yeah.
and I love the fact that I can even actually give it a name and it responds.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and you're using it in the right way. So and you're doing a whole lot of other things as well. I'm talking about the search everywhere optimization. So it's not just AI. I mean, people are on their social platforms and they have been for a while now, but the way in which people find out about businesses, it can be broad and diverse, and it can be overwhelming. Search everywhere optimization. That's a lot of places. But the goal is to focus most of your attention on the most important platforms for your particular business. So, I mean, if you're B2B, for example, and you deal with lots of businesses people, then you might be more focused on LinkedIn, or if it depends on the target market, it might be more Facebook, Meta, those sorts of things. But the way I look at it is, if you can create content that can be repurposed and republished on multiple platforms, so you're almost broadcasting the same message out, you're multiplying the effect of the one piece. So in your instance, you're doing an amazing job because you're creating podcasts, which is collaborative. So you've got a guest and the host, and they're sharing that information far and wide to their own network. So that all of a sudden you've extended your network massively. But also that podcast can be chopped up and reused and purposed into reels and so on through the social platforms, into bite-sized chunks that are appropriate for the platform, and drawing people back into your world. So it's really powerful. That's why I do podcast guesting, and I'm sure you get a lot of value out of the collaborations. Really, effectively, is what it is. So that search everywhere optimization, just to have little systems like that to share your information far and wide. It's really powerful.
Yeah, well, I've met over 650 people through this podcast, and I have learned so much. And when a guest comes on with a topic that I've probably discussed before, a few times, but I can actually speak their language. I can, understand what they're saying, and
Yeah.
to me, being a host has educated me in ways that I wouldn't have been educated otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I used to do a lot of networking groups, and so I'd try and make one-on-one conversations afterwards to get to know people better, which is powerful and great, and it's kind of what you're achieving. But it's multiplied because not only are you having the conversation with the person and finding out about their industry and what they do and how they go about it, but also the sharing of the conversation far and wide. It's so good. I think it's the next level of
I think
networking,
so
really.
too.
It's getting far more
Yeah,
value out of it, I think. So,
yeah.
have you done many networking events and that sort of thing as well? Or
No, no, I have reasons not to leave the house, so
yeah,
I spend most of my time indoors.
yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, well, it's so much easier now, isn't it? So everything changed, obviously, um, through the COVID times where just meeting on online it became the thing, and it's
Yeah,
so more productive and efficient
absolutely.
as well. So.
Zoom was a lifesaver.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so powerful and so many more things you can do with AI. So you can obviously have it transcribed and then you can reuse it as notes and adjust it into whatever you need to do, your proposals or um, so many things you can do once all that information that you share over a quick Zoom, it's so much, but the insights can be adapted into further tools and things to help your
Absolutely.
business.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
love it, love it, love it.
yeah,
Wes, how can
yeah.
we turn online visibility into predictable revenue? Now, that's a lot of times what people are asking. How can I, you know, become more visible, but use that to get money into my business without relying on ads because ads are really expensive.
Yeah, 100%. So, and it's the kind of they, if you do go down the ad path, it can give you a quick injection of new business, but it's expensive, and it's not really a reliable long-term strategy because it costs so much. So it's eating up all your profit margin. It's good to get a few more clients in the door, and then hopefully you keep them long term. So that's where the lifetime value of the customer kicks in. But if you build, there's a couple of ways of going about marketing and thinking about marketing. So the first is brand marketing. So you're building up your reputation and your authority as the leader in the space that you work in, and that's what we really encourage our clients to do. So it's publishing content and building a website that positions them as the expert and authority in the space they work in. But then there's also the direct response marketing, which is more like your advertising, which is all about just getting that inquiry and that or that booking or the sale right away. So there's places for both. We work mostly in the branding marketing side of things because it's more long term, and so it's building some solid foundations to your business that will set you up for the long term future. Whereas ads can just be a necessity sometimes to get things flowing a little more quickly. So that's how we do it. And so as I said, so sharing your message far and wide. Once you've got a core message, I think it's really important to have sorry, a compelling offering that's uniquely yours. So that the bits of your business that are different to everybody else, they're really the parts that you need to focus on the most because everyone else is talking about your industry broadly. So the marketplace knows what that is, but they don't know that those unique aspects of what make you tick and why what your values are and what you bring to the table. So that sort of humanizes it as well a little bit because it's about that positioning you as the authority, the human aspects. It's not just generic content that you're publishing anymore. It's uniquely yours.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I was suspended on Facebook for apparent cybersecurity breaches. I really, all
Okay.
I did was post a link. Yeah. Anyway, so I was suspended for one day, then I was suspended for a week, and then I was suspended for a month. No, sorry, it was 2 weeks, and then it was for a month. And so during that time, I went to LinkedIn, and I hadn't played in LinkedIn much at
Yeah.
all. But I've found that my awareness on there is growing so much that, uh, people that I hadn't thought about bringing into my network are now requesting to, connect. And I think, you know, it's a great. I mean, LinkedIn to me is a better platform than Facebook in that way for networking and getting more valuable leads for your business. And I think
Yeah.
ads, they're like a 1 minute thing, and then they forget about you. Where if
Yeah.
you're building your brand, as you say, people, you're top of mind all the time.
Yeah, LinkedIn is really great like that, and it's interesting what's happened here. We won't dig into why it might have happened, but I mean, some of these platforms they just kind of try and control their own points of view. They don't like points of view outside of their own worldview, which is disappointing in this day and age where it feels like conversations are silenced, where people should just be happy to listen to other people's points of view and be solid on their own convictions. It's a funny world we're living in right now, that polarization
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that we see. So yeah, but LinkedIn is really powerful, and people just see you got to think about the user intent as well. So when people are on Facebook, they're often just wasting or killing time because they're bored and they're just on their couch flicking through things and seeing what their friends are up to and so on. But LinkedIn is the intent is more so for business connections. So whilst there might be fewer connections and comments if you post something, those connections are more valuable to a business. And even if people aren't commenting on your material, they're still seeing it. So they're still seeing your little photo pop up. And when the time's right, and if they need someone like you, then you'll be front of mind. So it's
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've
yeah.
connected with a fellow in England who is a hip hop. He's just won a member of the British Empire
Oh wow.
award. Yeah, and we connected through a comment I made on someone else's post.
Wow.
And yeah, and so the lady from the ABC who was sacked last year or year before, we're now connected on LinkedIn because I commented on she won her case, and she got her award today. So which wasn't a lot, but never mind. We won't go down that track.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's brilliant, isn't it? Particularly with what you're doing with the show, talking to the experts. So all these people have tremendous value that they can have conversations on your podcast and so on, and on it goes. And yeah, just the networks that you can build in the real world and the digital world are really the most valuable thing in this day and age where it feels. I love AI and the tech and all of those tools that help us so much and streamline things. But I love more the human connections and the vulnerability of being human and the relationships and so on. That's kind of just how I'm wired. So I think if we can get that balance right to remain human in this tech age, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got to keep our humanness, absolutely, because that's how we all are. We're not machines, and we all have feelings and we have points of view that we want to put across, and we should be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to find out more about Wes Towers, you can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him on Facebook at Uplift 360 AUS and on Instagram at Uplift _360. And his website is uplift360.com.au. I had a check at your website. Absolutely beautiful site. Wes, loved it.
Thanks.
Tell me what you can find there.
Yeah, so well, the news is quite helpful for people. So there's lots of tips and tricks, particularly with things changing so fast in AI. We're trying to stay on top of that and cover it far more frequently than we used to publish. So trying to get something up there every week because things are changing so fast. But also, if people are that way inclined, they can connect with my personal. I think you mentioned my LinkedIn. I know not everyone will connect with strangers, but I do. So if people reach out there, I'm happy to do that.
Wonderful. Now, is there a price range for building a website? Are you happy to disclose that?
It does vary a fair bit. I suppose the average might be $4,000 or $5,000, Aussie dollars. We're in
Reasonable.
Australia. Yeah, so there can be a whole lot more sometimes, but that's fairly unique when there's specific, customizations and
Like 10
calculators
pages or
and
something.
yeah. So sometimes things are really or a community-based thing where people log in and do a whole range of different things. So um, yeah, it depends on how much it's customized, really.
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's a really good starting price point too. I think, that is probably the industry average, or even a little bit below. Because I know some
Yeah.
people that are charging, double that just for a two-page site. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's true. The price, if anyone gets a quote for a website, the prices can be vastly different, really. It must be so difficult for customers and clients who don't really know to pick someone. We're really lucky. I'm really lucky in that a lot of work comes through referral, so there's that trust element that's already
yeah.
factored in. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I build my own. So and so yeah, I mean I don't code. I just use templates. But they turn out all right, so I'm happy with them. So
Yeah, yeah. If it meets your needs, that's perfect.
absolutely. Wes, it has been an absolute pleasure. Listeners and viewers, don't forget to reach out to Wes on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and his website is uplift360.com.au. Thanks for joining me on Talking with the Experts today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Rose. I really loved it.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts with Rose Davidson, the podcast that brings you real stories, bold insights, and strategies that work. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube or your favourite podcast channel so you never miss an episode, and dive into our full library anytime at talkingwiththeexperts.com. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep talking with the experts.